A new era is upon us. Pulse has taken the world by storm as the leading Web3 social media. Beyond current features like casting, tipping, inscription trading, and earning, it's now elevating to the next level, on-chain.
Soil, a fully regulated, seamless link between traditional finance and the digital crypto world.
What's up, guys? Jimmy here. Hope you guys are doing well. This is a beautiful Friday. It's today, the 28th of June. A lot of things are going on. A lot of options have expired or are about to expire soon. Let me bring myself to the screen. Hi, guys. Soon we're gonna see a half-yearly close, a quarterly close, a weekly close, a daily close on Sunday. So Sunday is going to be a really interesting day because Sunday is Sunday is the last day of the month. So often what you will see is after the month close or the quarterly close, big players they will rebalance. They will take actions, protective measures, or increase their positions, and so forth and so on. So I think there are a lot of good reasons to dive today into the market. Let's see what's happening here. For those who are joining me, thank you guys for joining me. My name is Jimmy. Let me know in the chat how you guys are doing and where you're from. If you have some banter to share, let me know as well. Yeah. So first, what I would love to do is to take you back to 20th of April. Something special happened on the 20th of April, and I'm talking about the Bitcoin halving event. We celebrated this. All of us, we celebrated this. For some of you, this might be your very first Bitcoin halving event. For some of you, like the more OGs, have experienced a halving event in 2020. The real OGs have experienced the second event way longer ago in 2016. The real OGs, I mean, the real old school gangsters, have experienced the very first halving in 2012. What I want to highlight here is whenever there is an event, a big event such as the Bitcoin halving, we tend to forget that this event is an event for the next 210,000 blocks. So multiply 210,000 blocks by 10 minutes, then you will have 4 years. So it's actually a process, and it takes it takes 4 years to come into fruition. And I want you to zoom out a little bit and see what happened actually in the third halving in 2020. Actually, this is what I would consider a range-bound environment. We saw the anticipation towards the halving. So it was, I agree, this was the COVID crash. But before the COVID crash, we saw actually an up market before the actual COVID crash happened. So there was anticipation towards the halving. And then Bitcoin was actually in consolidation phase for quite a long time, for 153 days. The same goes for the second halving. For the second halving, as you guys can see here on the chart, made it here in green, the second halving resulted short-term or mid-term, I would say, for 132 days in a range-bound environment before it really blasted and before it really took off to the upside. What I'm seeing here right now is basically the same kind of behavior. Of course, we need to understand that the halving is a slow event. Before we really feel the impact of the supply and demand, it takes a lot of time. And as of now, Bitcoin is ranging here for 66 days since the last halving. And technically, Bitcoin is in this consolidation phase, in this rectangle, if you will, for 121 days. There is some weakness in the market, I agree. And I would really would be happy to demonstrate why I think there is some weakness. Potentially, this could be a double top pattern. However, I believe the probability that this turns out into real classical double top pattern is the least likely scenario. Of course, we cannot ignore what the chart is telling us. We cannot ignore what has been printed by the market. This is a really ugly line. I would consider this as a potential double top pattern. However, to fully believe that this is a double top pattern, we need to see a breakout or breakdown, better said, to the downside. As for now, I do believe this is the least likely scenario. I believe what's going on is Bitcoin is still in a consolidation phase here. I prepared like another chart here for you guys. It's actually still sitting on the monthly support and resistance zone. We see here a falling wedge. A long capitulation wick happened here. Could consider this as a swing failure pattern, but for me to really consider this as a swing failure pattern, I ideally want to see a quicker V-shape move to the upside, and this is not like V-shape in my opinion. This is signaling more weakness, especially if you would plot here the 50 MA. If you would plot the 50 MA on the daily chart, it doesn't matter if you use like the EMA or the MA, but for this purpose, I will use the MA. If you would analyze it without price action and only by using the MA, and let me remove the drawings a little bit, hide drawings. We see an up movement actually here. You cannot ignore this. This is it's sloping up. There's no denial about that. However, since here, it was actually in it actually demonstrating us a few things. One, there's no real strong trend going on. And secondly, if we see such a behavior, a MA curling up, and you see a lot of momentum kicking in, and that's actually stabilizing, how I would translate this is there is a slowdown in momentum and also an exhaustion in the trend, so that the trend is actually tired. Everyone wanted to be part of this trend. And if a lot of people wanted to be part of that trend, then the question remains, who will support this trend? Am I saying this is the end of the bull market? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying here that there is weakness in the market, and we are still on a critical support level, while a lot of altcoins are also sitting on a very critical support level. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, not sure if you guys are aware, but there is a newsletter we publish every week, every Tuesday, and it contains a lot of different information. It contains trading ideas, meme coins, but also real coins with real utility. It contains trading psychology insights. It contains FA analysis, TA analysis. I would go to the burpnest.com website and sign up for the newsletter. It comes every week for free in your mailbox. So to circle back to the current price action, I do see here a legit falling wedge, a falling wedge that leads into a key support level. Is for me actually a reason more to long rather than short. it goes extremely against my own system to short Bitcoin here at this critical level. There are also a lot of options. They are about to expire, and as I told you, Sunday is an important day, as it will lead to a half-year close, a quarterly close, a monthly close, a weekly close, maybe less significant, but also the daily close. So on a weekly basis, or let's go to the monthly basis, I believe Bitcoin is still here sitting on a critical support level on the monthly chart. For this, I want Bitcoin to stay above the monthly support resistance level. If not, I believe that 50K ish is potentially the next target to the downside. But I believe it's a little bit too early to talk about a downside. We need to see now some momentum kicking in the Bitcoin chart before we actually can give the downside scenario more a higher probability. As of now, I do believe that that the bulls, I would give the bulls the benefit of the doubt. On the weekly chart, we saw a massive sell-off last Monday. This weekly candle, the current candle, which is not closed yet and will be closed in 2 days and 9 hours. A close like this, and honestly, a few days ago, it looked better. But again, the week is not over yet. There's still a fight between the bulls and the bears. I would love to see a hammer pattern, tapping into this support resistance level. And if this happens, I believe that the path of least resistance for Bitcoin, as shared in my Bitcoin report last Tuesday, is to the upside. If it breaks out to the upside, I marked 64 level as my target, 67 level as the next target, and then eventually range high. And this can happen very quickly. As you guys can see from the weekly chart, it took us simply 3 weeks to go. Well, let's say 4 weeks to go from range high all the way to range low, and inducing a lot of fear by this wick. It seems insignificant, but a lot of things happened here in this wick. However, we only need 2 weekly candles, and this is how quickly things can turn to move all the way to range high. And I agree, this was a special price action. It was in anticipation of the halving and the potential ETFs and so forth and so on. But we also witnessed it here after the halving. 2 candles, 2 weekly candles is enough to go all the way to range high. And this is so funny. I know you're joking here with us, Space Gray. We are so back, and it's so over. And that's probably how a lot of people think at the moment. Whenever, and this is psychology and trading psychology, and you cannot ignore the fact that trading psychology is basically the substance that keeps your mental, that keeps your technical edge, your risk management, your position sizing, everything coherent, and it brings everything together. Without trading psychology, it doesn't matter at which stage you are, a very advanced trader or a newbie, it doesn't matter. Trading psychology is extremely important. I shared quite a while a phrase, and it's actually my own phrase, and I like that because I gave it a lot of thought. Whenever the market goes up and the asset goes up, the higher it goes, the higher targets we will set. So imagine Bitcoin breaks out from this range. My target would be, if it breaks out from this range, the target would be around 85K, 90K. I do believe that 100K is also very possible if we get this breakout. Imagine if the market will gift us and provide us this price action, this breakout. I'm very sure that everyone who had 85K as a target, they will raise their targets. We call this recency bias, and it always happens. And this recency bias is extremely strong, especially in a downtrend, because people are really sensitive and very suggestible when it comes to negativity, and we call this negativity bias. Whenever price is going down, recency bias kicks in along with negativity bias and confirmation bias, and we start to create lower targets in our minds. And that's why TA is so extremely important, because it can filter out some of your biases. But what's even more important is when a bias is not something we can fully control, it just happens subconsciously. What we need to recognize is the specific behavior that is or was induced by a bias, and that's something you can manage and control. The bias itself, it happens, and it's up to you to manage your own behavior. Again, if Bitcoin breaks out to the downside, this is the point of control. That's why I also said like 67K would be for me one of the key levels to reclaim. If we get like the breakdown, 51K is definitely not out of the question. There's a lot of so-called inefficiency here, a big gap here also in the volume profile. So this is definitely a level to watch out for. The Ethereum Bitcoin chart. That's an interesting chart as well. And by the way, guys, expect some extra volatility with all the options that are about to expire, already expired. I'm not an option expert, although it was part of my CMT program. Secondly, there is this weekly close, quarterly close, monthly close, half-yearly close. So do expect some volatility, which means, in my opinion, the next few days will basically not really determine the trend, I believe. Maybe next week when things are a little bit calmer. I shared this last week and yesterday as well. This is the Bitcoin chart, the Ethereum against Bitcoin chart. The obvious here is, and this is not relevant anymore, the halving. The obvious here is there is a strong downtrend. We cannot ignore this. But we also cannot ignore a triple bullish divergence on the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. This is actually a divergence that doesn't happen that often. I cannot recall a moment where we have seen such a divergence. As far as I can see on this chart, this is the first divergence that happened on the weekly chart. Of course, Ethereum is quite young as an asset. For crypto, it's quite old, but as an asset, it's not really that old. But still, this is the very first bullish divergence we have seen. We're seeing here on the bullish on the weekly chart. More often than not, this suggests a potential reversal. This big, long, aggressive candle was basically induced by the good news for the ETF, and it's now currently trading above the 50 the 50 RSI level. In a downtrend, more often than not, you would see the RSI really hovering often below the 50 level. And quite recently, it was trying to attempt to reclaim the 50 level here. It tried to reclaim the 50 level here. And it's now staying here for quite a while, here above the 50 level. Another way how to use RSI is to plot trend lines on it. I do consider this as a legit RSI breakout here. Well, maybe a little bit too big. But again, we need to wait for the weekly close. But all with all, this suggests really a potential reversal. And if it wants to catch up with Bitcoin, I do see the Bitcoin dominance going down, and a lot of strengths will enter into many alts, especially alts that are sitting on a high time frame support level. Just like SDEX, I shared quite a while in our Discord a few trade setups. One of them is, let me check where my is Rose. Rose is doing well. We shared Rose here at this when this hammer formed on the Monday, because everything was bleeding. And when you see everything is bleeding, especially Bitcoin, but some alts are showing strength, and this long, maybe it's not like a classical hammer, because normally you would say the hammer should be 2-3 times bigger than the body, but it gives basically the same thesis, as you can see here, as the hammer. It's actually rejection. It bounced very beautifully from a very logical support resistance level. My next target is around 10 cents. We gave this call here around 0.85. The next target would be here around 11.4 cents, 13 cents, and eventually 18 cents. If we get there, I will try to trail out this setup. All with all, happy that I gave the call, and happy that I entered this trade. Also, do consider the Bubicator Pro current timeframe trader to act as a potential resistance level. One of the other calls we recently shared in Discord is Popcat. I'm really not an expert when it comes to trading meme coins. I invested in trading some of them. We have JTrader, the tank trader, who gave this call. So this is already a very nice 5.9 R trade. So it went already up 110%. Not a bad trade setup at all. We entered it here. Would be a little bit careful with Popcat. However, I do believe that Solana, the narrative, the ETF narrative, will push this ecosystem. Nice deviation, resistance. This could be the long wick, but this candle here did not confirm basically this long wick, as in the long wick. My interpretation of a long wick, especially when it pierced through a certain SNR level, and then it was followed up by a hammer lookalike candle. This is not really a sign of weakness, and this could be a successful throwback. We're still waiting for a few candles to make that final conclusion. So Popcat looks really good here. Continuation would push this to higher targets. Then we have Ondo. Ondo was shared as well. It's still in our buy entry. Still making here these beautiful higher highs, higher lows. Beautiful retest of this green zone. And then we just have to wait. And honestly, guys, not gonna lie, a lot of people are saying, trading is easy. Just hit the buy button, hit the sell button, move your stop loss. That's really bullshit. Not gonna lie, one of the things I really don't like about trading is going actually through trading view and check all the different charts, setting my alerts, the waiting. It's not really what I like. I find it quite boring. Also going through the different charts and analyzing them, high time frame to low time frame, trying to find entries. Often you don't get these entries you want, and often there's a lot of waiting. Anyone who tells you, well, trading is really exciting, it's fun, and so forth and so on, I'm not really sure if they really understand trading. It's actually really like 80%, 90% is all about preparing yourself, understanding a little bit the fundamentals that drives the market in general, and then finding your entries, and then waiting, not FOMOing in. I mean, that's not really like the most exciting part of trading. The most exciting part of trading for me is that I can fulfill my core values, that I can have life according to my core values. I don't see any joy really in trading. Well, there's some joy when I make like big gains, and especially when I help the community with making these gains as well, or protecting our capital as a collective. However, you just really need to know that whenever you are in a winning trade, it doesn't make you a winner at all. Whenever you're in a losing trade, or in a series of losing trades, you're not a loser at all. Eventually, you want to measure yourself over a long period of time, quarters, months, half years, years. It was just a side note. Sorry for digressing a little bit. Yeah, Rose is something I already shared. This is the new kid on the block, IONET. Added here to my TradingView list. It's actually here ranging. There's not a lot of price history. It was recently launched. I think it is number 55 of Binance Launch Pool pet. I think the entry was around 36 cents for a lot of people who entered this, the community round, I think. So most of them are already did, they've done a 10x, which is not bad at all. I'm trying to find myself an entry as well. A little bit in dubio, or it should be buying the strength, or setting bits around this level. Breaking this level will most likely create, will lead more to a sell-off, especially if you got in for 36 cents, or even here. This could induce some selling pressure. On the other hand, the other thing the other argument would be everyone who bought IONET after the launch, so not in the IDO phase, everyone is actually in a loss. So everyone who bought IONET here all the way up to $6, they're in a loss. This whole down movement, right? So you could say like a lot of fresh backholders. I'm not sure how this really, what the ratio is between the backholders and people who bought IONET in the IDO. But nonetheless, I think this is something worthwhile to monitor. I mean, everything on the low time frame chart, when it comes to patterns, take it with a grain of salt, especially newly listed coins. This was like some form of cup and handle, very ugly, not textbook. It broke out, but it couldn't break this resistance level. Hard rejection here. If we get a 1 hour candle close like this, then I wouldn't mind to look for a quick trade, to look for something like this. Not sure why my stop loss is all the way down there. So imagine you would try to hit this level here. Not sure we will get there, but imagine that's what you want. like your stop loss around here. It's still like almost like a 5-hour trade. If Bitcoin doesn't tank, I believe this could be the really nice setup for IONET. Let me check. Yeah, I think I already shared Popcat with you. I think the community made some good money on Popcat. And again, I don't think this chart looks very, very bad. I think it has still some another leg up. If you guys want to, get these alerts, and by the way, it's not only alerts, right? It's an educational platform. Whenever I whenever I share a setup or someone else shares a setup, what we do is we do try to explain a technical explanation. For example, the technical explanation could be really short and to the point. Some people, they make it a little bit lengthier, just like me here with SDEX. By the way, still a active call, and also here with Rose. We do fully justify our trade setup as technically as possible, and sometimes we do use also some FA catalysts, but it's often TA that's leading in most of our setups. Ladies and gentlemen, do you guys have, oh, by the way, this is a QR code you can scan, but you can also check the link to the website in the description. Blast. Honestly, I'm not really familiar with Blast, so forgive me. But I'm happy to check the chart. Is this the Blast you're meaning? Is there any exchange with more price history? This used to be like there was like a Blast airdrop, something like that. I mean, there's not a lot of price history, but what I do see is lower highs. I don't really see a lot of strength. Let's see, Blast. Well, no. Sure. I'm not sure what your exact question is about Blast, but no, that's really ugly on that chart. Let's do KuCoin. I don't see a lot of strength. I'm unaware about its fundamentals. So this is definitely something, when I see this kind of chart, I just skip this. I don't find this interesting, to be honest. So again, is this the end of the bull market? No, I don't believe so. The end of the bull market, there are like different proxies, right? You can share. And by the way, another thing is, when Bitcoin was in this range and it lost this point of control, so something we shared with the community, this is like big weakness. If you see this kind of rectangle, and this is like a beautiful volume profile displaying here this red line, the point of control. It basically, we lost this level, bearish retest, and then down we went. So ideally we want to go back into the fair value, heading towards that 64, 67 area. Let me check. I do have a few other things I want to share with you. Yeah, Solana. Let's check Solana quickly. Or so you do see this falling wedge. I do see this falling wedge on many different coins. Falling wedge into support. It's overall not a bad strategy. So what I'm seeing here on this chart, let's quickly go to the weekly. Solana, if this is something what I often do, especially if you have a portfolio. If you have a portfolio, my suggestion is measure the current price against the 52-week high, and then compare that with Bitcoin. This is 45% away from the 52-week high. Maybe if you count a week, 48. Honestly, compared to a lot of other altcoins, this is pretty okay, especially since it's sitting here on this crucial SNR level. All-time high sits around $263. This, if I had to make a decision, go long or go short, I would rather go long. Personally, I like the Solana ecosystem. I've been to a Solana Breakpoint event. I like the community. I like what they're doing. Very ambitious. Like me personally, I wouldn't buy Solana. Maybe like one or two to. You don't even need one or two. I want to say like one or two to be a little bit active in the ecosystem. Maybe for certain DeFi protocols, you might need more Solana, but I do believe that there's a lot of growth potential within the real good projects within Solana, real world assets, and especially also deep in. I think it's really worthwhile to keep an eye on Solana. But again, falling wedge breakout. This is the Bibricator Pro current time frame trailer. We don't want to see a candle close below $133 below this level. If this happens, then this would suggest a trend reversal on the 12-hour chart. So keep that in mind. What else do I have for you guys? Yeah, Ray. This is what I meant, right? I was really, eager to buy Solana. However, I'm pretty bullish on Ray, for example. Still in a downtrend. I have a position. Ray, shared this with the community as well. It's one of my long-term picks for this bull cycle. It couldn't break through this as of now, and see how accurate it is through this Bibricator Pro current time frame trailer. However, if we get the break, I see Ray heading again towards $2 and maybe even 2.7 and higher. If you go to the weekly chart, yeah. There's a lot of growth potential or upside potential to the upside. Go back to the daily. So let's wait. Are there any chart requests, ladies and gentlemen, before I wrap up? Okay, let's do a quickly render, and then another question from a good question, by the way, from someone. Render USDT. So what's the obvious here? What's the obvious here? Tell me, guys. What's the obvious here on this chart, on the daily chart? Okay. Let me quickly check the weekly. Not sure if there's any chart that has more price action. I wish that TradingView had the option, when you try to find a ticker, that tells you which one has the most price action. I think with crypto, not this one. I would really appreciate that feature. So TradingView, if you're hearing me, Please add that feature when I'm trying to find a coin. Then I want to see which one has the most price action, or price history, I should say, and which one has the most volume. Anyways, on the daily, we see here render. Let's mark quickly the levels. So when was the sell-off? Monday. Well, it's quite interesting how this bullish engulfing. Okay, there's some space between current price and the current time frame trailer. I don't see this as per se weakness. However, it actually came from a downtrend. You cannot ignore that. As you can see here, it couldn't break really this level here. Yeah, let's go to the 4 hour, right? Right. Do you guys feel me? It couldn't, right? Resistance, bomb, resistance, bomb. However, when this is a trick, happy to share with you guys this. When something, locally or not locally, it meets a resistance level and it gets rejected hard, you will see a hard rejection, of course. Sometimes you see like a soft rejection. Technically, we would call this a shortfall, especially in rectangle. If you see a shortfall, for example, this would be a good example of a shortfall. Price all the way go down, and then up, and then here up, and then it gets rejected, but it doesn't get rejected all the way down, but just here. This here, more often than not, suggests that a potential breakout could happen. It could be a fake out. But if you would see this in a ranging environment, just stay sharp and set your alerts. So yeah, all with all, like here locally, it's really hard to trade this. Like it's basically like here in the middle. If you're more interested in high time frame, then ask yourself, okay, what would be a really nice entry? I mean, this candle was from Monday when everything's, when you have like this sell-off. If it can re-enter this green zone again, that would be really beautiful. I think if it can take out this like local resistance level, I do see it, heading towards. And eventually, I want to trade a good risk-reward ratios. This would give me really good risk-reward ratio. But then again, I want to see some kind of wick, some kind of hammer, some kind of a candle pattern that suggests reversal. On the 12-hour chart, look, what we're seeing here, no, not a really very promising bullish divergence, to be honest. I will be a little bit cautious. If it can reclaim this green zone here, I would consider it long. Otherwise, I want to see a further decline here and then a few long wicks, and then I would consider to do a long position or not. Hope this helped. Whose question was this again? Solidus. Thank you, Solidus. Truth will prevail. Yeah, truth will prevail. Good one. I like your name. What would be your next step to defend yourself from loss if you're already 30% down and have no more money to invest? Great technical TA. Thanks for your time. Yeah, good question. Trading, investing, everything in life, psychology, mindset matters, period. However, having a plan, knowing when you're wrong is extremely important as well. So I'm not sure if you're 30% down one specific in one specific trade, or your portfolio in general. If I'm in a loss and I reached my point of invalidation, because whenever I trade and whenever I'm in a market, it's more important to know your point of invalidation rather than your next target. Because knowing your point of invalidation will protect your mental capital, it will protect your financial capital, and it will allow you to stay in the game. So if I would be, if I would have lost 30% and I was fundamentally convinced of a certain project, and it reached my point of invalidation, and I would see more downside than upside, then I would rather prefer to close that position. However, if I was in a 30% loss and it reached my point of invalidation, and there is not so far away from that point of invalidation another support level, or it depends on your system, you're not too far away from the 200 MA. Again, this is something you need to test out, or from not far away from the point of control, for example. Then maybe I would tolerate that trade or my portfolio to take maybe another dip. But in general, the rule of thumb is, when your trade or your portfolio, for your investment idea, your general thesis has reached the point of invalidation, then there's no arguing anymore. You reach the point of invalidation and you need to scale out or leave that trade to preserve your capital. That's the general rule. Credit. Let's do credit. And then I'm gonna wrap it up. My mother-in-law is waiting for me. The kids as well. I'm gonna have some pizza today. Yeah, this is the daily chart. I like Credify, to be honest. I met them in Romania during a Bitcoin event. Extremely smart people, very ambitious. I like what they're doing. Full disclosure, we also had a collaboration with them. It's a downtrend. Look, with RSI, there are different ways how to use RSI. Could say, okay, this is a potential RSI breakout. This is a key support level, I would say. Not tested many times, but tested very locally here. So I would give it some significance. Not sure if why you want me to do Credify. Not sure also what kind of time frame. What I like of Credify is the narrative, the real world asset narrative. Let me quickly check. Look, for me, it's quite simple. If I wanted to trade Credify, I want to know my point of invalidation, and that would be a candle close below the green box. And I'm getting confirmation from the Burbicator Pro, because this here is actually my stop. This is the BPRO current time frame trailer, meaning if I get this candle close below this level here, something will happen. And what will happen? The Burbicator Pro will flash a bear signal. So it's still here. Locally, if you would go to the lower time frames, you would see here some kind of resistance. Long wick. This is the boring part. I would have set alerts here. I would rather open a position, close. This is a trade setup, right? This is not investing. I would try to find a setup not too far away from the point of invalidation. So I want to see price going down around, it's 18, 17 cent ish. Because if you would trade this with 1% risk per trade, it would allow you to go a little bit more heavy than buying now. Also, if you would buy now, like for me, my point of invalidation is here. Just to share my thoughts on this, and that for me to do a 2R trade, like entering here and to do a 2R trade, of course the 2R is never guaranteed, but where is 2R here? Yeah, I would find it a little bit risky. I would rather prefer to have a higher R trade, not too far away from the point of invalidation, if this makes sense. But overall, this is definitely something I want to short. Not at all. This is not a short setup. Okay, let's say how to pronounce this actually. Say as SEI, or crypto is so difficult sometimes. Okay, what do we see here? Well, what's the obvious here on this chart? You can tell me. What's the obvious on this chart? Oh man, this is not. I don't see a lot of strength. No strength at all, to be honest. Now ask yourself. Yeah, this was launched in 2023, right? So what's happening here locally? We, just from price action, what do we see? What would you say? What would you say here from a price action perspective? This downward price action is not that it's losing its acceleration, if you guys understand what I mean. So here we went quickly down, and now it's kind of stabilizing. Maybe also not really that strange, given the fact that we had like here some before we saw that run up, it consolidated here. Honestly, if I see this on my trading view list, I would skip this. I don't see from my liking an actionable trade setup. Personally, I would not against say, not sure even what it does, to be honest. But I would skip this. I mean, look this downtrend. It's quite obvious, also from. Wait. No. I would at this stage. I wouldn't short this, of course. This is not this wouldn't be a coin I would say, okay, let's short the hell out of, say, after such a strong decline. And since it's meeting its this level here, but also longing here, I wouldn't do that because there are way better setups available, I think, rather than longing say or SE, however you pronounce this coin. I have nothing against this coin, by the way. Only thing is just sometimes hard to pronounce the tickers. Let me check. Yeah, again, like last thing is the this is Ethereum. We're gonna expect soon a Ethereum ETF, and the question is ETF. Everyone knows about it. Everyone knows that the Ethereum ETF will come probably next week. It could be the 2nd of July on a Monday, or Wednesday, Thursday, end of the week, or maybe next week. But eventually, the Ethereum ETF will come, and everybody knows about this. However, we only knew about the Ethereum ETF since Monday, 20th of May, meaning a lot of players, they were not able to build big positions. Unlike Bitcoin, with Bitcoin ETF, everybody knew that a ETF would come, and big players, they built a position, and some of them, and many of them, they consider this as a buy the news, buy the rumor, sell the news event. Some of them not. We have seen a sharp decline after the day of the ETF of 21%. 21%. Am I expecting something similar? I do believe that a lot of market participants will approach this as the buy the rumor, sell the news event. But most of them are not very well positioned as the Bitcoin shorters, or those who bought Bitcoin prior to the Bitcoin ETF. So I maybe we could take out this entire candle in the next weeks, and maybe going a little bit lower. But this is a crucial level here for me. Even if we get there, I'm still bullish on Ethereum. This is a falling wedge. I don't give it a lot of significance. It does suggest, what does it suggest? It's just reversal, right? It's a reversal pattern. But I also see, weakness. We still see lower highs here, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Exhaustion, indecision, exhaustion. It could bounce up from here again. But like this entire up move here, basically induced by one headline, we haven't really felt that, we haven't really took out that so-called inefficiency. So again, be prepared, especially since a lot of Ethereum, Bitcoin options are about to expire, or already expired. It's the quarterly close, the monthly close, the weekly close, the daily close on a Sunday. So do expect some volatility also with the Ethereum ETF. People, market participants, you're a market participant, but you do not represent all the market participants. There are a lot of different market participants, participants with billions, market participants with a few K. I'm maybe one of them. Talking about the guys with a few K. Just bear in mind that we don't make the markets. We make basically the markets as a collective. So do expect some volatility in the coming few days. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I want to invite you to hit that like button for me and my colleagues. We're doing a lot of live streams for free for you guys. We're doing a lot of premium live streams for the community on Discord. We do share some charts and trade setups on Twitter. We have a very popular newsletter. I would say sign up for that newsletter. Every week there is some alpha, some insights. And yeah, until the next time, stay safe